That's me drinking a cup of tea, enjoying it. I'm gonna enjoy this tea, and then we're gonna start. Oh, let's actually let's tweet out. You want your Star Runner? I want my Star Runner as well. If anyone would like to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets will probably get my attention. That's sort of what it's supposed to be about. We might show a couple of the videos off. Right. Give me a minute or so, and then we'll start probably. I'm drinking just some tea. I don't even know what tea I buy. Not PT Tips or anything. It's like an organic. It's a Clipper organic blend. Let me find out what I get asked a lot. Clipper. What tea it actually is. Our drinks. Some form of black tea. It is natural and delicious tea. Organic, Clipper, everyday black tea. The tea that I like. I do have it with milk. A little tiny drip of milk. And I should probably move over to almond milk, to be honest. I know that might be heresy to some people, but I'm trying to lose weight and be generally healthier. And milk's probably pretty bad for me. I'm not saying it's bad for everyone. And in moderation, it's fine. But I love dairy. I love all food. I jam all food in my mouth, except for cucumber. Cucumber and insects. Those are the things I don't want. I don't want them. Right. I will be about a minute, and then we'll start. Tea dealt with. Ooh. I don't recognise this tune that's in the background, but it's the menu song. It's just it's an alternative of the menu tune. It's very Mass Effect. Right. Hi. How's everyone doing? I hope you are doing well. We're day to like 220 of lockdown or whatever, something like that. I don't know. I might have made that up and make some stuff up. Probably that sounds about right, doesn't it? So we've had lockdown up and down. The global situation's a bit weird for a lot of us. I think I'm doing pretty well. Like, I was pretty geared towards surviving lockdown, and my business and everything is relatively geared towards it, so it can carry on. It's obviously been affected. The general YouTube landscape's been affected. I mean, I think that people are probably getting more views overall from like the day because more people are at home and there's more people bored and trying to consume content. But people advertising on YouTube and the revenue, that's down. So that's unfortunate. So it's a good time to grow a channel, not necessarily a good time to run a channel as a business. But I think stuff's going pretty well for BoredGamer. Zin seems to be settling in pretty well. So she's going to be looking at doing some lore pieces over the next few days. She just put up a video about the regatta, one of the more recent lore pieces. But I think we'll have a look through some of the lore and get her to narrate and put a video together for it, because it sort of seems like a good way of getting Zin confident of doing videos pretty quickly and understanding that full process. And I want to be able to... I'd love to be able to get 3 videos out a day. One sort of fluff/lore piece, one proper news piece on Star Citizen, and really then either a gameplay piece or a guide. That would be the joy there, and that would be the goal. And then with that, sometimes maybe 3 times a week, do Star Citizen streams. So that would be something like this, and a lot more gameplay, because I want to start playing the game more regularly. I mean, I like talking about Star Citizen. I like communicating and sort of interacting with the community, and that's the main reason I do any form of streaming. Because I go, well, let's talk, let's digest, let's work out what's going on, what sort of things do people want for videos, what questions are people asking. When do you guesstimate Squadron 42 1.0 could be released? I think optimistically the end of 2021. That is an optimistic statement, because we don't know. We know that the Squadron 42 beta that they had, that their internal beta, was delayed by at least, from their original estimate, well, more recent estimate, by at least 2 quarters. Yeah, because it was planned very roughly for the end of Q3 2020 to have a feature complete beta. Although I think a lot of us realised that was unlikely for them to make that, and that was before the lockdown and working from home. And obviously that's affected some stuff at CIG for sure, and obviously they're still going with it's done when it's done approach now. And they've said it's not going to beta this year for them. Squadron 42 Episode 1 is not going to beta for them this year, so it's at least 2 quarters delayed. The Star Runner is coming in a 3.11.x build of the game, which should be within the next few weeks. I would actually expect it I'm expecting it before the end of October. So a couple of weeks' time, I'd expect to see the Star Runner in-game. That makes sense to me. That's what it looks like as well, because if you look at the roadmap, such as it is the now depreciating roadmaps, let's bring this up on the screen so you guys can see it. There's 8 tasks left to do, and I suspect those are lighting passes and the sort of balance passes and actually getting it in the game. If you remember, typically when a patch goes to PTU, ships often have like 10 or so tasks to do when they go into PTU, and that will be literally just balancing and tweaking and checking stuff while in PTU. So I suspect that the Mercury Star Runner is pretty much almost ready to go, just requires polishing. Maybe we'll see it in a 3.11.x PTU. I'm hoping it will be in 3.11.1, and as I said, I'm hoping we'll get it for the end of October, and that looks likely to me. Yeah, so Squadron 42 Episode 1, I think at the earliest now would be Q4 2021, and that would probably be still optimistic. It does depend on Cloud Imperium's focus plans and crunch. Okay, crunch is incredibly important for getting a game out. I know people are like, no, crunch is awful. Yeah, so crunch is back-breaking, but a lot of stuff gets done during a crunch phase, and then it gets, and then something will go out. I think Salty Mike was talking about it in a video that he recently released as well about CitizenCon. So CitizenCon obviously was cancelled this year, but we had this weekend we had the not CitizenCon event, as I'm deeming it. It is a Star Citizen birthday party, where CitizenCon was going to be, but obviously it's its grave site at the moment. Although you could argue that they did just say CitizenCon is going to be postponed, and I do think we're going to get the CitizenCon that we were going to have this year, plus a little bit more early-ish next year. First half of next year, I would expect to see CitizenCon 2020/21, if you see what I mean. 2020.5. So where was I going with this? Oh, yes, so Crunch for them, once a year, was CitizenCon. Yeah, they had to get stuff together for CitizenCon. They had to get a lot of stuff to show, and it was a big sort of crunch period. They don't really do crunch with their major releases at the moment. And some people could go, I'm glad that they don't do crunch. It's a marathon rather than a sprint, rather than you want all the developers not to get burnt out, for sure. But crunch does, I think that a huge portion of the remainder of Squadron 42 will get done in the last 2 months before sort of like release. Yeah? Like quite genuinely. But yes, so CitizenCon each year for them was a big crunch period where they'd get a load of work done. They'd get these demos done. And you could argue that not all the stuff from the demo goes into the game. Well, that's true. It doesn't all get directly put in the game, but a lot of its elements, a lot of its tech, a lot of its assets, a lot of its plans and R&D and all the stuff that they go into these sort of like demos, they do go into it. They go into the game in some way. So, what kind of in-game dynamic event do you think we'll see by the end of the year? Xenothreat Idris mission? Yes. That is almost certainly what I'm expecting to see. So, during the birthday celebrations, they talked briefly about there is worrying transmissions coming from Pyro, blah, 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 blah. We'll have some cool stuff for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. So, that is almost certainly referring to Xenothreat. So Xenothreat are a pirate group coming from Pyro. We know that they've been working on them for a while, and the idea roughly behind Xenothreat, as far as I'm aware, and this is potentially spoilers, but it's going to be shown off a lot, and just before it goes live anyway, like in PTU phases and things anyway. So sort of bear that in mind. And so it's very likely to be Xenothreat, they're anti-alien, and they're sort of like anti-alien sympathizers in the UEE. They're effectively a terrorist group, and they'll be flying around with a fleet that include capital ships like the Idris, moving around like Fleet did, going to major planets and areas and then causing trouble there. And there will be sort of like what appears to be open missions going, there is this big raid going on, please join and help attack here as part of the Civilian Defence Force. Or Citizens Defence Force. Civilian Defence Force? Civilian Defence Force. And there might be some counter missions to that as well. There might be people that can join Xenothreat on the more piratey side. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But it makes sense that that's going to be the main thing going on, having some sort of Xenothreat-based stuff. How functional do you think the holo table was in Squadron 42 vid? Will that be updated? So holo table probably wasn't very functional at all, nor probably did it need to be too functional. So especially if it's just for show and for Squadron 42, they can fake a lot of that stuff. It doesn't need to have functionality in the same way as it would in the business universe if a player's using it. If a player doesn't need to use it in Squadron 42 but is looking at it, well, they can have loads of stuff going on with it because it's more scripted. Also, I know that they are working on a new Star Map, Star Map app overhaul and this sort of stuff, and the holo tables and all that, so they're going to get heavily sort of updated in the future. I believe that since they have a lot of control over when they release their game, not having a major company such as Sony, EA, Microsoft, or someone breathing down their neck. That's true. So the way Star Citizen is developed, it affords them a lot of freedom, but everything's done quite slowly. And I think that because of that, stuff is really focused on that potentially shouldn't be focused on, or at least the short-term focus makes a slow game and a slow development. We are all aware of that because they have long-term goals, they have medium-term goals, but a lot of what they do is sprints and trying to get stuff out for the playable alpha and refining stuff so that it's really pretty. So that they're very perfectionist. Well, Chris's vision is very perfectionist. So he clearly is going, well, I'm not happy with that. We'll hold it back. We don't need to release. We can hold it up by another year if we need to, sort of thing. And I think, well, another couple of weeks if we need to. And I think that cascades with hundreds of little tasks which will add up to, well, as we've seen now, years. I do think we're generally going to have a great game at the end of it, like a genuinely great game that you'll go, that was as good as Half-Life 2, that was as good as Half-Life, that was as good as Quake 3 Arena, I mean, a different type of game. Red Fox, 1140, thank you very much. You've just subscribed and then donated a load of New Zealand dollars. There's a lot of money. Thank you so much, sir. So, for people that are Zin fans, the Zin Simp Force, go team. please be watching Zin. I sent her 160 peanut line bars this morning because last night she said, well, we were talking about chocolate bars and what chocolate bars, pardon me, I haven't got the Rona, what chocolate bars are the best. So I personally like Kinder Bueno bars, Terry's Chocolate Orange bars. I think they're absolutely delicious. But someone mentioned, I think Cameron mentioned Lion Bar and Peanut Lion Bar being the best. And Zin made a very, oh yeah, Peanut Lion Bar sound. So when a woman makes that sound, I'm sending her some Lion Bars. I know a way to a woman's heart. And it's to pay her wages and to be best friends with her boyfriend. Hopefully you'll see DC on the stream at some point. I mean, you'll see him play games with us, for sure. But he's going to be helping me build a Star Citizen PC. Oh, so the donation goals and stuff like that at the moment. I have most of what I need. So I was planning to build a Star Citizen PC for a little while. And I was planning to do it like really just before lockdown happened. And then lockdown happened, it was hard to get components, and then a load of stuff was coming out with new Ryzens and new GeForce cards. So I've got a half-done sort of PC that I was going to build for Star Citizen, which was a sensible, semi-affordable PC. I mean, it's going to be very high-end, but it's not going to be just, I'll buy a 3090 because it's the best, or I'll buy a Threadripper super expensive edition because it's the best. It's not about that. It's about getting the best bang for buck, but also fully fulfilling my needs, which is I want to play Star Citizen at high frame rate in 4K and be able to stream and be able to record that stuff in 4K and edit on my PC. Okay, but obviously got an editor now as well, and I want her to have a very similar system to me. So we're going to be building 2 PCs now, and they're going to be slightly different, and we'll be doing that on the channel. And Azitech have helped me out significantly, who make amazing coolers, and I will be plugging them a lot, probably for the next year or so. Not as a... there's no sponsorship from them. They sent me stuff because they wanted to help me out, because they're legendary, so I'll be paying back the favour without a contract? You know what I mean? I like their stuff. So I was trying to explain this to people the other day. Anything I shill for, typically I've approached them, almost always. See, I don't shill for Raid Shadow Legends, because they approached me, and also I don't like their game. But stuff I like, I'll shill for. I approached Nord, I approached Shadow Gaming PCs, not Raid Shadow Legends, Ridge Wallet, all that sort of stuff. Actually, I need to do a couple of Ridge Wallet ads on my channel at some point. Could the introduction of alien races to the MMO part of the game be done with in-game events like invasions or something? Maybe a Banu merchantman could fly into a system. They certainly could be. We do know that they want to do big in-game raid events, like potentially the Xenothreat one we're hoping to have for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which is a possibility. Sort of makes sense. We know that at the moment Cloud Imperium are working on the Xi'an in earnest, so they've done a lot of work on the Vandal. The Vandal are coming along very well, even the melee FPS ones running around, but they're also now working on the Xi'an as well, so expect the Xi'an to be a part of Squadron 42 to some degree. So yeah, looking forward to that. I don't know when we're going to see the Banu properly, but I would expect to probably see the Tavaran then the Banu, maybe, because the Tavaran are part of the UEE, and I suspect there'll be like a Tavaran officer at some point. Board, have you noticed the new interaction mode options and the minor animation additions to the Gladius's cockpit in the PU? No, I have not noticed that, Doctor. But I haven't been flying the Gladius much. I will be trying to get my 50-person murder mask at some point over the next couple of weeks. Let me turn down the volume of this slightly. Yeah, me and Zin are going to be going to Bennyhenge, maybe doing a guide on that. But I mean, I think there's a lot of guides out there already. It hasn't changed where Bennyhenge is. Maybe do a really quick one, or a gameplay one of us trying to find it by memory, because I haven't been there for ages. So the last time I went to Bennyhenge, I think it was when they had the puzzle in to find it. And while starting to do that puzzle, I saw 2 lights, because there was the big communication pillars, and there was flashing lights on them. I saw 2 of them together and went, that's strange. Why are there 2 together? Oh, it's Bennyhenge. I found it almost immediately. Are all the horoscope birth signs going to be assigned to a ship eventually? There's a new one, isn't there? Isn't there a new horoscope birth sign? New horoscope sign. Oh my god, I can't pronounce this word. Ophiuchus? Ophiuchus. NASA discovered the 13th zodiac sign. The Serpent Bearer. Ophiuchus? 13th sign. So yes. No, I don't know. I suspect they will use a lot of naming. So the different manufacturers like to use different sort of naming schemes. So potentially all of them will be used at some point, and then in the future maybe you'll get the Ophiuchus. I'm bad at words, especially words I've never read before or said before. What was the most exciting, interesting thing that you learned about Star Citizen this weekend? So there was a few things. Obviously, I was a bit upset there was no concept sale. I actually really wanted a concept sale. I think it would have been good in CIG's best sort of like interests to have a concept sale. I'm surprised Red Fox sent me a load of money without a message. I love you, Red Fox. Mwah. You're the best. So things that we learn, whether they be disappointing or not. iCache planned for Q2 2021 at the moment. Pyro planned when server meshing comes out. Server meshing planned for 2021 after iCache comes out. Physicalized inventory planned probably around when iCache comes out. So no pyro this year, basically no fully physicalized inventory this year. There's still a load of server improvements and a lot of other stuff coming online with 3.12. Lots of extra bits coming on with 3.12 beyond what it shows in the roadmap at the moment, for sure. I'm interested to know, can they do physicalized components without iCache? Probably not. So maybe not physicalized components even this year. I liked Chris talking about the way he sees Star Citizen with it's ready when it's ready. They did that AMA. So there's some cool stuff for the AMA. There was a great bit about server blades and what they had planned for them. So server blades allow automation in ships based on your computer systems. So you can put in sort of like computer modules and software and computer blades into your ship to do different tasks. And it's not just having a AI controller in a turret that will target things automatically. It could be things that automatically fire countermeasures off for the appropriate missile. It could be things that help you find bounties or salvage or ECMs or anti-ECMs or loads and loads of different things. Anything that you... better shield management. There was a huge range of stuff and I was like, oh, that's exciting. Actually, I know what I think was the most exciting thing. Most exciting thing we learnt over the weekend, at least for me, was that the base building mechanics are expanding significantly. So it's not just the Pioneer dropping off outposts. They want a lot more to be able to be done with that. It even sounded like they wanted the Pioneer to be able to build more, or to be able to actually go, we are going to build a whole large-scale base in this area beyond just a few little outposts. So that sounded absolutely great. I'm totally up for that. Base building with the amount of real estate that Cloud Imperium are going to have with Star Citizen is going to be absolutely fantastic and insane. And I'm happy that I've got a Pioneer. And is that happy? I mean, it's a very first world thing to be able to buy a Pioneer. I think that's what, $750 or something stupid for a digital purchase. That's my heart thinking about it. Oh God, what have I done? Grumpy Town 2, thank you very much for the subscription. Very much appreciated. So yeah, I'm really the RSI of Finicus coming 2022. I know, right? I'm interested to know what people think of the current sort of 3.11 gameplay, which is really a lot of people murdering each other. Now, it is mostly kept to around Grimhex, I find. And lots of people organising groups to attack each other. So basically, for those of you who don't know, and those of you that do, let's bring this up on the screen. There is an event throughout October. There's multiple events going on at the moment, but there's an event throughout October where you can earn some in-game items exclusively in-game. So you can't buy these. You might better buy them from other players in the future. Well, actually, you can buy these bear masks, which I actually do quite like, admittedly. But there's these other Halloween masks as well. No, there's 3 in total. One of them you can buy, and the variants of it. And then the other 2 you have to earn in-game. Now, the Scarecrow mask you can see here, that's really easily earned. You just go to Bennyhenge, touch down at Bennyhenge, bam, get that Scarecrow mask. That's permanently going to be added to your inventory. I say permanently. Maybe you're about to lose it after the game goes live. Maybe you have to ensure it. I'm not sure how it's going to happen with those sort of exclusive items. But this Vandal mask is another story. So you are given, throughout October, a Glaive and a Gladius to fly, added to your inventory during the month. And you need to kill 50 unique players in the persistent universe. And if you do that, you will be awarded this lovely Vandal mask. So that's led to a load of players and organisations just going, well, we'll just kill each other. We'll organise groups for it. We'll organise groups to help people that get it. But there's also bands of people roving around, just people roving around murdering with a bit more of a purpose now. But it seems to be happening largely at Grimhex. But there's people that are really angry about organisations just going, well, organise murder fields and killing each other. And there's people angry at, like, well, I don't like these rando servers that have appeared on Discord that are organising for people that aren't part of orgs or that just want to get this. I don't think it's in the spirit of it. I think it's in the spirit of people trying to get achievements. Like, you'll have a load of people doing achievements in loads of different ways. Some of those ways are going to be people just going random murdering, which I'm not a massive fan of. Some people are going to be trying to get that through, fighting their orc mates or messing around or going, if we get 30 people to line up in a row and we spin up a Gladius chain gun, we can kill them all. But you have to be in the Gladius or the Glaive to get those kills, and you have to be, you have to get 50 in either the Gladius or the Glaive. They don't stack. You can't have 25 in each. Do you see what I mean? So it's just an interesting one. I think it's fine people doing it however they want to. Don't feel it's exploity or anything. They just think you can do it. It's all good. It's an alpha game. You're messing around. Some people are going to be having great fun. I think the best way of doing it is that I'd like to see orgs organising org warfare events across servers and just going, well, we'll fight each other, and all these people are fair game while we're fighting, and we'll leave the civilians out of it, sort of thing, and stuff like that. There is some children across the road. Their parents think it's a good idea for them to be, during lockdown, allowed to play with the car. So they just let them loose in the car, and the kids just keep on pumping the horn. Okay. Really annoys me, especially because they pump the horn for about an hour. So if you hear that in the background, that's me getting angry, and the horn going off. Yeah, beep, 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 I know. Oh my god. Oh. Now I'm Grumpy Town as well. What else did we learn? Anything exciting? Oh yes, quite a lot. We'll go through it all, or at least some of it, in a row, slowly, quickly. One of the two. Paul BoredGamer. No, I'm good. Let's get grumpy. So I am quite a stressy, grumpy individual. A lot of you won't see that in my videos, and when I'm playing online, when I'm live, you probably won't see that either because I'm more aware that I probably shouldn't be grumpy. But when I am playing Apex Legends with my mates, with like Xenon people, privately, I get very grumpy very easily. Another day without Titan suits. I know. I want Titan suits. I've had some audio files with Titan suits, which leads me to believe that we might see them at some point soon. But I don't. I've been thinking that for a couple of years now. So. Yeah, so the amount of information that CIG gave us the other day was genuinely good. It wasn't a CitizenCon, but it was a lot of the extra information that you'd get around CitizenCon. So it wasn't the presentations, it wasn't the main gameplay demo, but it was a load of like the side things that you learn at a CitizenCon when out. Will ArcCorp get reworked so it's not a Coruscant-like planet? When will they add more landing zones? In the future. It'll get more landing zones for missions and some interiors for it so that you can do missions there, and that sort of stuff. Expect that in the future for ArcCorp. If I fulfill my drinking... What? If I fill my drinking containers with beer in Star Citizen, will my aim in dogfights increase? Yes, 100%. You'll have a strength bonus to press it. You'll press your buttons faster, more accurately. You'll fly better, and your weapons do more damage. Your fists do double damage. When will we see land claims and base building? Almost certainly after iCache, we'll start to see probably lore gameplay come along with land claims, because I know that at the end of 2018 that's when Aaron first wanted that in, and then they'll probably work up to base building, because we've seen them working on the new homesteads at the moment, and I think that's sort of like pushing towards the same sort of stuff. Homesteads, new points of interest, new types of outpost, new types of building, having these structures be able to be powered by the new pipe system. With the Imperator elections affecting how the game is developed, what do you think each candidate would affect? So it's going to be mostly law stuff, yeah? But so let's have a quick look at the Imperator elections. Why don't I have them just up on my screen? Because I'm a dum-dum. Let's bring this up. So encourage people to vote for whoever they want to vote for, okay? So every 10 years, there's going to be a Imperator election, okay? Maybe we'll see another one in our lifetimes. Hopefully the game will release before that. So between now and the 24th of October, you can vote in the Imperator elections from the Imperator election page. Let me just post this for both of you. There you go. And basically, you vote there. You'll get a forum badge to show that you voted for whoever you voted for, which you can use if you wish. I suspect it's a good idea to vote because, you know, more unlocks, better. But there's 5 candidates to choose from. One is a female Elon Musk, is the way I'd like to describe her. Very sort of like, let's get AI, let's get technology, let's get a load of people, better educations geared towards sort of like human science, innovation, all that sort of stuff. And that is Leilani Addison, who I voted for. I like this. So the type of gameplay I would see associated with her is lots of stuff that's going to be focused on science and exploration and sort of like missions which sort of like go, oh, we're all about innovation, but also Skynet, AI, things going wrong with AI, data running stuff, and interception of data, people trying to sell data and espionage and that sort of stuff. I mean, we're going to get largely the same gameplay, whatever candidate we sort of vote for. But the flavoured missions, the way that certain areas evolve, is very much going to be influenced by who wins the Imperator elections. Because certain systems will have extra lore in them, and then they'll build missions around that lore, and more things will happen around that, and there might be large-scale events where pirates attack this area because of the way they're being handled or whatever. So it's going to affect the development of the game, but not the gameplay loops so much. Salvage is still going to be salvage. Do you see what I mean? FK, thank you very much. Much appreciated. 24 months is a long time to be subscribed to me. I apologise for your trials and tribulations. I foolishly gave 3.11 another try. This time was unable to see elevator buttons. I had that problem in the PTU. Yeah, it's, I think largely 3.11's been pretty stable and pretty good. Probably one of the better patches that we've had. Obviously, when things like that happen, it's a bit soul destroying. However, I do believe the way to fix the elevator buttons is to just move away from the area and come back and wait a little while, and the buttons do eventually appear. At least they did for me. I don't hate you though. I love you. We also got Titus Costigan. He's sort of like very economically driven. I think he wants to... Is he the one that wants to... So he wants to take back sort of control with the economy, deregulating a lot of stuff with businesses so that they can boost economic activity, and then sort of like have private militias potentially and lots of security forces. Then we've got Paul Lassalle. Is Paul Lassalle that wants to... So he's the ex-centralist chairman. Empower individuals to prosper by reducing taxes and regulations, including loosening certain weapon restrictions and reworking the Fair Chance Act. So he was going like, I think we should be able to, as long as we're not overly affecting intelligent life forms, we should be able to go to their planets and mine. Just, you know, keep it on the down low. Low-level criminals would receive monetary penalties instead of prison. Yes, he's the one I was thinking of. So they can then be added back into society. We've got Mara Nago as well. She is the transitionalist. So she wants to move the capital from Earth to Terra, which would cause a lot of... That would be interesting. I mean, maybe one day we'll see civil war in the Star Citizen universe, and that'll be interesting. But she's sort of very pro-Terra. It's sort of like, yeah, let's move it to the new world. And then we got Ilyana Sharad, and she wants to sort of like create lots of jobs, have lots of projects going on in each system, sort of boost the economy that way, and stop the funding for the synth world. So I quite like the way they've done all these candidates. They obviously stand for very different things. As I said, I really like Leilani Addison. I like female Elon Musk, and I think educate your populace. Cool, go team. I am taking Kiwi dollars. Oh, thank you very much for your Kiwi dollars. Appreciate it. Robert Johnston, thank you so much. Trying to one-upmanship someone else. $51. Are you taking Kiwi dollars from someone else? You I am two-timing. He also he didn't tell me to fuck off, so it's not the same. Thank you very much, Robert Johnson. Very much appreciated. You're a legend amongst people. Long time mega supporter of the channel. Very much appreciated. When do you see us getting the Redeemer? I'm glad I held out for it now. Okay. So, expect to see more about it by the end of the year. Don't expect it before Q2 2021. Yeah? Hello, BoredGamer. I've been watching your channel for 4 years and I've never won a giveaway. Can you please give me a Buccaneership? Good luck. I think I've got some 100 series ships to give away that CIG potentially have given me. I don't know. I'll check later and we'll work out a way of giving those out. I do have beginner's guides videos. Yes, that's true. Have you had anything about the Taurus? I'm expecting to see the constellation Taurus by the end of the year. I'm expecting to see hard dock by the end of the year and the P52, P72 being able to be docking, undocking with the constellation and the Taurus being game. That is what I'm expecting. I'm also expecting to see the C2 Hercules Starlifter in by the end of the year. What's going on? People send me money. Stop them. Well, actually, don't stop sending me money, but stop sending me money, you monsters. Aussie dollar is stronger. You'll want want that more than silly Kiwi dollars. Oh my god. Thank you so much. Is this a contest now? DJ Brown? What? No, it's not. Thank you. I appreciate it. DJ Brown's dollars are strongest, though. So, it's a contest. Thank you very much. Marek United, appreciated. You monster. DJ Brown, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Rocky, thank you for becoming a board citizen on my my YouTube channel. That is one of the things I want to be pushing in the future for sure. Is the YouTube channel join member stuff, because that is one of the best ways to support the channel, and it's sort of like sustained income, and then I can focus exclusives on that and Patreon much more easily. Two very easy platforms to work with, and obviously YouTube is my main platform, so all of the stuff I just want to run through there, and you'll be getting exclusives, at least one exclusive video every 2 weeks, but I think we'd be trying for an exclusive video a week, especially with Zin now working for me. Hey man, how are you holding up with the COVID and all? Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I'm not ill, but the general lockdown, I'm doing pretty well. I would encourage other people to reach out. If you are doing well or if you are doing poorly, reach out to other people and show them some extra courtesy. And see if they're doing well. Have a chat with them. Organise some stuff to do online. Just because you're doing well doesn't mean other people are also doing well. And just because you're doing badly doesn't mean you can't get some support, even if it's online. And definitely reach out to your friends if you're going a bit cray-cray, for sure. Do you know what I mean? Merrick United. Just call me Mark. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. I will, Mark. I will call you Mark. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, Star, thank you. That's people frolicking around with their cars outside my house. That annoys me. What else have we got? Oh, but genuinely, thank you. Thank you for the big glut of money. I keep wanting more than bitch and cry at all the hurdles I have to jump over while playing and suffer the 30Ks. Are people having lots of problems with 30Ks at the moment? I have had the most stable experience ever in Star Citizen for 3.11. Even the PT was pretty good. Is that largely other people's experiences, or are people experiencing more 30Ks than normal? Me and Zin for sure are not. And even like stuff like the memory leaks and a lot of the CPU sort of excessive usage is gone as well. 30Ks, no. Random bugs that are yet to allow me to leave a planet, yes. Okay. Lost 40,000, 400,000 UEC because of a character reset. Okay, so annoying random bugs and outliers are causing issue a lot of people. Been pretty stable for me. Okay. That's good to know. Obviously, when I do my videos, when I talk about Star Citizen, I can only really talk about from my point of view and the points of view of, well, and the absorbed information and news I hear from others. Yeah? So, with some people, that's going to be they've had a great experience. With some people, that's going to be they've had a terrible experience. And all those in between. So, I try to get a cross-sectional view. I'm obviously going to be more influenced by what I've seen. Yeah, so the Mercury Star Runner was $225 last time we saw it. I think it's a possibility it might go up to $275-ish when it goes to flyable, but hopefully it will stay at its current price. Board, I have a question. I have a Gladius, and my missiles won't lock on the target no matter on the range. What should I do? Okay, so missiles have changed in 3.11. So if you're aware of the changes and they're still not locking, that is a bug. You need to target the ship, then you need to lock as normal. They need to be in your front nose cone. They need to be within the range of the missile size. So between 1,000 and 1,500 sort of meters. It is it is harder to use missiles now. Well, it's much harder to use missiles now. It's still not impossible, for sure. There might be some bugs that some people experience, though. Andy Heaton, thank you so much. I forgot I had these. Appreciated. I will happily take your bits. That's not a euphemism for anything. Or maybe it is. What else have we got? No worries, anytime for your channel and videos are worth donating for. Please keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Red Fox. That was genuinely appreciated, you monster. Board, can you donate me an Aegis Saber? No. But what I will do is I will look through my list of any ships I've got to give away. Because for the next few months I'm planning to give away Mercury Star Runners. CIG were kind enough to give me some tokens to be able to purchase them. I have to purchase them at full price. I don't get stuff given to me like that, unfortunately. I wish I did. I believe they have given me one of each of the 100 series of ships. I need to double check that. That might not be 100% accurate. I think they have though for giveaway. And if they have, then I'll work out a way of giving them out. Me and Zin might do I might give one out on social media. I might give one out on like my Discord, and then one out live at some point. It's probably something we'll do something like that. When are we getting the Ranger bikes? Don't know. They haven't talked about them. They are obviously one of the more simple things for them to do, I think. I mean, obviously they are a wheeled bike, so they need to perform as such. They don't have a true wheeled bike in game yet. They've obviously got the jet bikes. They've also got very small type vehicles, but a bike is a little bit different. Hi, if I understood right, one doesn't need a pioneer to build a settlement. How do you reckon it would work? So there might be other ships to be able to build settlements. There might be the ability to drop in sort of like materials, and then have the ground vehicles build it, be able to build it just out of those ground-based materials with another object. So maybe you can just drop like literally a some sort of like tiny little factory, like a 3D printing factory, as cargo from a ship. Whoop. And then print the base from there. Yeah, something like that. Board for Emperator. I wish. I think there would be a lot of other people significantly better and more suited to be an Emperator than me. Although I think I'd be very fair. I think I'm pretty reasonable as a person. Not when I'm playing Apex Legends. I go very angry. Yeah, but make sure everyone votes in the Emperator elections, for sure. What else have we got here? We've got quite a few questions, and how far am I behind? Several minutes at least. What is your take on when we'll get the Mercury Star Runner? Will we get it this month? I'm expecting the Mercury Star Runner this month. That is a hope. That is not confirmed, but to me it looks like that it will go into a PTU build very soon, and then you'll see it anyway. But then I'm expecting we'll get something in our hands by the end of the month. Did you happen to see the new ship in the Squadron 42 debriefing video? You can see it at 11 seconds. Are you talking about the mining tick? It's probably the Cygnus you're talking about, because I remember seeing the Cygnus in there, and people were like, new ship. Like, no, not new ship, Cygnus. Which video was it in? Was it in the primer video, or was it in the... I have to bring up both now, you monster. Oh, actually, we'll watch the community video as well, because it's got a nod to Wickstrom in it, which I think is worth saying. Safe travels, buddy. Let us bring this up. Okay. So, if we go desktop, bring this up for you. So we've got some new scenes of Squadron 42 stuff. What is that? What is that ship? That the ship you're talking about? It is, isn't it? It's like a little tiny junker. Maybe a shipjacker ship? Literally just a junk ship made of lots of different bits. But it does look like it's got 4... They thrust their thrusters on it, aren't they? Should probably have analysed these in a bit more detail. It's quite like a little floating lift platform, but I think it was a... That's what we got in here. So we've got a Cygnus in the background there. This is Archron Station, so this is the big mining station. We've got a Starfarer. We've got some Mustang Alphas, or probably Mustang Deltas, I'd expect. This is the Cygnus Spider Miner. So, Tyrellian, one of my mates at CIG, and one of the guys that did a load of Star Citizen Machinima before CIG hired him, is trying to get them to put Mark Hamill's beard back on. Because old man with a beard looks better than a shaved old man. However, I actually think what's going to happen is that old man will start with a beard on and is probably a bit war-weary, and then maybe shaves later when he's really back in the action to show that he's cleanly shaven and he's taking his job seriously. That's what I'm expecting, although I could be wrong. This is obviously a collapsed mining area. Very similar to what we've got in Nevsky. But that was a it's an M50, wasn't it? Huh. Huh. We got the Gladius. Editor player. Editor player. Broken Comoray stuff. Stress beacons. Chop shop and abandoned ships, destroyed ships, broken areas. So, yeah, that was some of the cool new footage of the Squadron 42 stuff, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. My theory is that you go find Mark Hamill's character, hand him a mid pen, he looks like it. He looks at it and then tosses it over his shoulder. Okay. What else we got? But yeah, that little junker vehicle, I hadn't noticed that before because I probably just was like, we've got loads of stuff to do. There's a load of information coming out. That's me. That's me making videos. Zin, you got to edit the things. I can only talk and I'm bad at reading. What do you think about the current persistent universe FPS AI? They're dumb. They're not working properly, but they are working on them to a quite significant degree, and I actually think they'll improve a lot in 3.12 because there are a lot of like the server improvements going in there that will allow for a much more stable server tick rate, which enables them to actually work significantly more as intended. If you see like the ship AI in Vandal Swarm and Pirate Swarm, they work a billion times better than they do in the persistent universe, and the same I believe is true for the FPS AI. And once they have them at a stable sort of server tick rate, they'll work as intended, which is why stuff in Arena Commander works a lot better than in the persistent universe. 125A or Avenger Titan for dogfighting? I prefer the Avenger Titan. I think it's a great all-round ship and would be the ship that I would, if I had to pick a low-end ship to start the game with, it would be the Avenger Titan. Are refineries supposed to refine materials to do something more valuable, or just going to be an extra step in the selling minables? They are going to be a step in making the materials more valuable, and eventually are going to be used in crafting and manufacture. And they talked very, very briefly, they mentioned crafting and manufacture over the weekend, just saying, that is the thing we're going to be doing, and we know that there's going to be, like, at the very least, nodes that will consume that, and then materials and items will be made from that eventually, filtering back into the economy and affecting all the prices. But I actually think there is going to be a much more player side of crafting as well, which they have not talked overly about yet, but I think it's very likely. When are we getting the Odin system? We should have it in Star Citizen after Squadron 42 launches. I would expect like the next quarter afterwards, probably after Squadron 42 goes out. That's my sort of guesstimate. Squadron 42 though, earliest we're going to see that is the end of 2021, and as I said, that looks optimistic now. With Star Runner and cargo decks, do you think cargo running will be more worth it and entertaining? At some point, 100%, there will be much more reason to do cargo running, data running, smuggling. But will it be... I don't think we're going to see much more to that when the Mercury Star Runner comes out in 3.11.1 or 3.11.x. Yeah. I do think that the Mercury Star Runner is going to see as common use as the sort of like Cutlass Black. I think it's going to be an incredibly common ship just because of how many people like it, how many people bought it, and how multi-role and versatile it is. Since you are an Aurora R10 owner, would you recommend it to someone else? So, for people that don't know, Azatec sent me a Alienware Aurora R10, which is a great system. What I don't like with it is that its motherboard does not support all of my needs. So for some people, as long as you, for the most part, building yourself, if you can build yourself, yeah, is almost always better, because you get to really tailor what you want, you get it a bit cheaper, you get exactly what you want. And I always recommend that if you can do it. However, if you've got the money to spare, and you want the support that is provided with, my computer is damaged, any reason, send bits of it back, or send it back, they'll repair it within like the next day or whatever, and those sort of service agreements are great for some people. Some people want the branding. I remember Alienware 15 years ago, before it was bought by Dell, and I liked that more petit bourgeois nature of it. Now, slightly overly corporate for me, but for some people, they're a great choice. I would not recommend it to all people because they're expensive, but I would recommend it to some people. Could that ship in Squadron 42 thing be a Vulcan? Aegis Vulcan, or am I drinking stupid juice? I mean, it looks more like a damaged terrapin. So let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it again, and then I'll have it up on the screen for when we want to talk about it. So for people, let's bring this back up on the screen. I mean, it could be. It's like a bit of a broken terrapin. It's a weird little junker ship, isn't it? So this is what we're talking about. I mean, it's got to be Shipjacker ship, yeah? I mean, maybe it is just a junk put together ship, and it's not actually anything beyond it's relatively unique. Or maybe it is going to be something in the future that we can get our hands on. More just like a civilian junker craft or something. Hard to know, eh? Hmm. FIFA 11 gameplay is awesome. As a PvP pilot, my trader friends are now more interested in my services. That's good to know. Also, I think a lot of PvP players are enjoying 3.11, not just because they're sort of like being enabled by the murder everyone wants to murder you for the mask, but because it's genuinely a lot better, with a lot of balance gone into combat, and a lot of the desync issues solved, and missiles not being just broken. Ted, feel free to PM me your YouTube channel stuff. I'll have a look at it at some point as well. I'm happy to help out pretty much anyone with their YouTube channel. I say pretty much anyone. Depends on the content on there, obviously. What kind of bear is best? Are red pandas bears? Like bear-like, aren't they? Bear grills. How does your algorithms pick a winner of the ship giveaway? There is no algorithm that picks it. Okay, so for my monthly giveaway, yeah, well, what happens is random number generator rolls a number. So each video is numbered 1 to however many. There's a random number generator rolled. That picks a video. So like number 23, that'll be the video that I made on, let's say, the 23rd of the month. Whatever, it's just numbered. Then, in there, all of the comments are exported, yeah, on an Excel spreadsheet, again, numbered, and then everyone with the same name is basically automatically put into the same comment. So only one comment actually counts per video. There's basically an extractor thing that I use to extract it all and does that. It goes boop. I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to do my giveaways because it's the easiest. I've done that for years now. And then again, random number generator rolls on that. Bam, number 312. That is this dude. It is as simple as that. Might be a better, more sophisticated way of doing that. And if there is, I'll get Zin to do it. If I have a giveaway that's given by someone else, like an organisation or whatever, it is done in the same way. Or at least has been done in the same way. The community is split half. Are these people really happy with progress or not happy due to the lack of content? Where do you stand? And for me, 3.11 is the best patch, as it runs nice. No content, though. Yes, so it's very, very much light on content, although you could certainly argue the fighting in Armistice Zones is pretty cool for station assaults. I wish they had more station assaultiness for the Halloween event rather than murder of players. Just maybe taking out turrets and security. I would have liked if you were able to stay around a station for 30 minutes with a criminal rating that you got at Mask. Something like that. I like that style of messing around more, I think. Maybe. Certainly with the event here, they're able to test a lot of things. They're able to test player concurrency of fighting and messing around. So, where do I stand on it? I'm pretty chill with Star Citizen in the fact that I go, I see some progress. I wish there was a lot of progress faster. I wish the game was stable, but also at the same time, if I was doing the development, I would not have done playable alphas in the same way. I would have just had sort of like a console and you can mess around. Maybe Arena Commander and Theatres of War focused on, but not the Persistent Universe so much. And waited for a lot more of the gameplay loops to be a lot more developed. But there are massive bonuses and negatives to the way that Star Citizen does its development. Its monetization's probably severely increased because of it. The amount of feedback they get and the rapidness of iteration on short-term things is a lot better. You can get much more fully polished gameplay loops much quicker. But all of the overall sort of development of the game is slowed. So mining, pretty developed gameplay loop. Yeah, it's actually pretty well developed. And there's a lot going on with it. But we don't have much else. We have some cargo hauling, we have combat, we have FPS stuff, and a lot of that stuff is coming online to a bigger degree, but the core systems aren't finished yet. But once they have all the core systems finished, there's actually quite a lot of gameplay, as Chris was talking about in his newsletter, letter from the chairman, literally going, look, we've got like bounty hunting, we've got exploration, we've got all these things that sort of work in the game now, and once we bring those core systems online, then those gameplay loops are there, which is partly true. It's sort of like more relevant to me that I don't really care much about the alpha and the playable alpha. I'll play it, I'll cover it, but what I'm more interested in is when the game is starting to come together more. At the moment, I'm a tourist. At the moment, I'm a tourist, and I'm talking about the news, and I'll talk about the game, and I won't be aggressively critical. I am very excited about a lot of the game stuff. The reason I'm not going to be aggressively critical is because I don't feel the need, nor do I have it in my blood and soul to be like, this is shit, unless I feel that way, and sometimes I might. But, I think a lot of people think that I don't criticise CIG enough, and that's because you have some people that are very, 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 very super pro. Oh my god, I love Star Citizen. I'm sorry, I did the voices. And some people that are just constantly Not critical, just this is all shit. It's all shit. Everything's shit. This is all the bad points. Whatever they've done that's good or progress, it's never going to be good enough to outweigh any of these bad points they've also done at the same time. And I was like, well, how's that helpful? How's that useful? That's not even the news. You're just like, I think that this is shit. Okay, well, good job. I think I want to talk about what CIG are actually making progress on and talk about the news, which is what I think I want the channel to cover for the most part. Obviously, there'll be guides, obviously, there'll be gameplay, and as the game gets more and more developed, we'll look at the gameplay loops and we'll look at gameplay more and more. Maybe we'll do machinima eventually. Maybe we'll do. I think Zin's going to start to do regular lore readings because it's a sensible idea for her to get making videos regularly. I haven't played around since around 3.9. Came back yesterday to find the game, and the pilot is extremely weird, and I can't pilot properly or modify my mouse type. Your mouse, I don't understand what your mouse type is. All the sort of settings like that should be in the settings menu. The piloting and the way the ships fly has changed since 3.9. Your ships have got more weight to them, basically. There's thruster efficiency curves. Especially when you're in gravity, especially, you're going to really notice your ships having to struggle to move around based on the gravity there, based on the atmosphere. But your ships don't respond immediately anymore to thrusters, to thruster changes, so certain ships fly very differently. Oh yeah, so agent smithing's going to be a thing. So I forgot to say this. This is another good big thing. If you are flying around in your ship and you've got NPCs on your ship, yeah, in the future with those NPCs, your teammates will be able to take control of them. That is still the plan. I didn't think it was the plan anymore, but it is. You'll be able to take control of those NPCs as long as you allow those players to take control of them. So you say, these are enabled. Well, I don't exactly know how it's going to work, but you say that friends can jump in here, or maybe it'll go, a friend wishes to take control of this NPC. Do you want to let them? Yes. Yeah, if you get Zin yourself to do a video on weekly lore stuff, that would be amazing. Yeah, I think Zin wants to do that. It gives her something to do that she can do quick and dirty, sort of video-wise, which is I want to get her used to being able to pump out content when needed, but also juxtaposed with sometimes I want as much production value added to a video as possible. A lot of people have been like, oh, well, I've been like, and I think a lot of other people would agree, that a lot of my videos with editing are incredibly low effort, or have been for a while. And now with Zin, doesn't have to be so low effort anymore. We can have all the B-roll matching up a lot better. We can have much more accurate, more complex videos and things like that as well. Yeah, beautiful planets, but fuck all to do on them. So that's largely true. Well, that's not entirely true, but so Star Citizen, an amazing tourist game. So every 3 months, go have a look at the new stuff, mess around for maybe like 20 plus hours. You can probably get out of it. And if you're just sort of like wanting to see the new content and mess around a bit and go, what's pretty, what's going on? Oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. And I'm done. I'll see you again in 3 months. But if you've got like an organization or a goal, you can do a billion times more. You can play for hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, if you've got the right organisation, because they're going to be organising things to do on those planets. They're going to be doing silly things. They're going to be locking down things. They're going to be testing ops. There's a huge amount you can do in such a pretty engine and it look pretty. Did my previous cooking questions get answered? I take a work called TLDR. I want to cook the native species of planets. They've confirmed hunting. Have they ever confirmed cooking? They have not. Well, so there's definitely kitchens on some ships, and there's definitely going to be the ability to. Well, we can eat food now. I would expect crafting / cooking, almost certainly, on some ships. And do I expect there to be big game hunting and the ability to eat meat? Yeah, I do. I'm almost certain that's going to be a thing. Do you think we get a video, Star Citizen video, at least a summer trailer for Pyro or Crusader? What? I think by the end of the year, we'll see some more stuff on Crusader and Pyro. You're going to start to see from the 22nd onwards again of October, you'll see the new season of Inside Star Citizen. With that, they'll be looking at 3.12 and beyond. So stuff about Pyro will be there as well. Will the new system introduce different size jump points? Not as far as I'm aware. I think the new system will just have a single jump point connecting it to Stanton to Pyro to start with. That'll be first iteration. It will just be a single jump point as far as I'm aware. Have another YouTube channel to handle all the negative news called ShitGamer. Nice. Will the new system in we talked about that a second ago. Whenever I get frustrated with the Star Citizen, I beat up a BoredGamer video or two. That is very, very beautiful, Jay Bird, and I do recommend everyone do that. But is that so that you can then get frustrated at that and you realise the frustration wasn't so bad? Will there eventually be different economies on each server? Okay, so in the short to mid-term, almost certainly, the dynamic system will probably be not perfectly accurate, but eventually it'll all be tied to the same database and the iCache. So they'll be drawing from the same information. So anything that affects those economies will affect every server. And then hopefully everyone's on the same server or same server mesh. Do you think CIG intentionally don't work on the Merchantman? Yes, that's true. They don't because they're working on other things intentionally. They can't deliver it for the price and it's too much. Oh, no. So that I've seen some stuff on the Merchantman. I saw some stuff my last studio tour. They wanted to get the concept of it fully redefined or fully defined because it's a big brand new ship and it helps define all of their architecture and a huge amount of other stuff. But the Merchantman will be in our hands at some point. I think it will keep very much to its intended original goal, but it's going to be slightly different, obviously, because it needs a bit more concept work. HOTAS, HOSAS, or HOSAS and Throttle? It purely depends on your preference. Dual stick is really good for a lot of people. I love keyboard and mouse because I record and film and FPS and do a lot of random stuff. It's just ease of use. But a lot of people say dual stick is amazing. If you want the most immersive experience, HOTAS is great. So it's depending on what you want. When do you think we'll see the public roadmap updated for 3.12? Good question. Now, will we see an update to the roadmap proper before we get the new roadmaps? Because the new roadmaps are supposed to be coming by the end of this year. So could that be relatively soon? Yes, it's possible. Maybe 3.12 will be the last roadmap on the current roadmaps. That's probably quite likely. And I would expect to see an update on that new roadmap, on the current roadmap by the end of this month. So maybe to coincide with Inside Star Citizen coming back on the 22nd. Who's the dude behind me? It's Chris Roberts, making sure I don't break NDA. He's behind every streamer when they stream. Yeah, apologies for I'm relatively behind in the chats with questions. Will Pyro introduce raid-like gameplay? We need a Terrapin, Apollo, 2 prospectors, and a bunch of fighters for a group to go hit or mine something. So I think there's going to be a lot more risk and reward. I think we're actually going to see some larger raid-style gameplay in the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, potentially, for the end of November. I'm hoping that they have the Xeno threat, fight the fleet missions, and then we'll obviously see more of that in the future, a lot more sophisticated. But yeah, in the future, you will 100% have missions that are scaled to whatever sort of thing that you want to do. If you want to do larger scale fleet attacks, there's going to be those missions for you to do. Doesn't that new ship look suspiciously like a terrapin? It does look suspiciously like a terrapin. It could be a junked terrapin. Any tips on people getting 30Ks and crashes? So there's a lot of stuff you could do. Mixture of port forwarding, messing around with your router, lots and lots and lots of stuff. It depends on why you're getting those 30Ks and what exact 30Ks you're getting. Looks like a tiny Pioneer, that ship. It sort of did. I think it looks more like the Terrapin, though. I think it's a shipjack, a Terrapin, probably. Any word on the release dates for the Star Runner? So, the Mercury Star Runner, soon. 3.11.x build. Probably 3.11.1 is my expectation. I would expect it. I'm hoping that we get it for the end of this month. There's no hard date yet, though. Hope your dad as well. Thank you very much. He's doing very well, thank you. Squadron 42 beta / late alpha end of 2021. We don't know yet. I think I'm hoping that we have an extremely optimistic hope. End of 2021, Squadron 42 Episode 1 release. That's what I'd like. We'll have to wait and see. All we know at the moment is that Squadron 42 is at least 2 quarters behind what they wanted to do, and it will not go to beta for their internal beta testing this year. Has anyone heard when we are getting the new glaive and scythe? No, so we're not sure when the scythe and glaive is going to be updated in the persistent universe. We do know that they had them largely done for Squadron 42's needs, but the cockpits had not been done for the humans. So they had been done or had been working on for the Vandal specifically. If you can remote control our friends' NPCs, will we be able to hack our enemies' NPCs to sabotage their ships? No, no, you're not. Although, you could argue that if org mates are allowed to jump into each other's NPCs if they've allowed them to, you could have people espionaging into an org for a long period of time and then sabotaging with those NPCs, which would be weird. There's going to be space animals at some point. They are going to be working on the space cow and boids, so the smaller animals like rats and ramter and things like that, and the onicrabs. When will ship-to-ship docking be available in the PTU? You'll see hard dock from the P-52 to the Constellation, P-72 to the Constellation, I think by the end of the year. But ship-to-ship docking beyond that, that's going to be a while later. You'll see ship-to-station docking before that. And they're working on ship-to-station docking at the moment, and the hard docking. With the cargo and refinery decks, will we be able to choose where we want to dock? It would be a hassle to walk all the way through a station to unload cargo. Well, so if you're a large cargo ship, you need to unload cargo, you'll probably do a ship-to-station dock to near the cargo facilities. That would be my expectation. If it's in a smaller ship, you might be assigned a landing pad, but you'll be able to get the stuff off the pad or whatever. There might be ways of paying to have your cargo loaded and unloaded, and sort of prices associated with that as well. We'll have to see how they're going to do it, but it's not going to be, yeah, you've landed your Freelancer Max at a landing pad, the cargo decks across the station. Now you have to take every box individually on an elevator. There'll be transit systems for it to move around. There'll be ways of getting it around there. There'll be ways of having NPCs unload it for you. It's not going to be like, well, this is Euro Truck Simulator and you've got to do the loading and unloading and everything. Is it a good time to start Star Citizen for a brand new player? I would say the best time to start Star Citizen for a brand new player would be the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November. Almost certainly going to be a free fly event there as well. At the moment, it's cool, Star Citizen. There's a lot of people flying around murdering each other to try and get a mask. Any news on mentions of Theatres of War recently? So they are going to be giving us some updates on Theatres of War soon. I know that. Good morning. Thank you very much. Mornick. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated, sir. Do you think the recent information releases for Squadron 42 will allay any concerns about the length and state of development? They will to some people. So some people are going to be more worried. Some people are going to be less worried. I think it's much of a muchness. We know that Cloud Imperium's development process is it's ready when it's ready. What we need are the new roadmaps and as much update as possible with those roadmaps, with general just communication information. If they are able to keep up with the communication and the forum sort of interaction that they have been, and the quarterly Squadron 42 reports, and all this new information they've got for the persistent universe and Squadron 42 on these new roadmaps, then I think we'll be in a good place, and there will be quite a high level of confidence in Cloud Imperium to be able to manage a community as well as build a game. Because that's what they need to do. That's what it's about. It's not about just building a game. It's not just about providing something for the community. It's about both simultaneously. And they need to do both simultaneously and share as much information as possible. We are along for the ride. And I want to feel like I'm along for a ride. Any new ships or ship types you personally hope to appear at the aerospace and anniversary sale? I mean, the ones that we've heard about, the rumoured ones, are the RSI Odin gunship, the Xi'an cargo ship, and a mobile refinery, all of which are possible, some or all. I'd love to see the Cydnus as well. I'd love to see the Titan armour, the mechy power suity thing. I'm really excited for that, in fact. And we could see some other stuff as well. So I don't think we'll see all of that for sure, but some of it, yeah, for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, almost certainly. Bear with me 1 second. I just need to quick bio. Yeah. How's everyone doing? When you can also ask a question. I have suggested this as an AMA soon. What have we got? You had quite a few crashes yesterday. Okay. Heard anything about the banner merchant? Yeah. So it looks to me like the Polaris is going to get work before the banner merchant is finished. It looks like they'll probably do the Polaris first. Like, if they focus on the merchantman at some point in the next couple of quarters, then you'd probably see it by the end of 2021. But again, that's if it's a priority for them. Bored. When I now log into the Star Citizen, I have to go to the character creator, and when that happens, I basically can't connect to the server and it logs me out. Will a character reset fix this? I don't 100% know. Check on the support.robertspaceindustries.com site for that problem. If nothing else works, then character reset is worth trying, but that's as like a last resort. Yeah, I'm finding problems with the EU servers in general. The Aussie and the Aussie servers seem to be better for me, oddly. Are you happy about the Happy Birthday event? I'm happier than them not having an event at all. Do I think that CitizenCon was missed this year? Yes, massively. I appreciate all the love. Thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. What else have we got? Anything else exciting? Is there a confirmed trigger for the Scarecrow mask for Benny Henge? As far as I know, it's touching down on the floor. Gets it for you. If it is just being near the area and being able to literally fly through it, I'm not 100% sure. But touching the ground definitely attributes the mask when they attribute them. You don't get it immediately. You get it like on the was it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? I think they drop them in. Any ideas when we're able to sell components? After physicalized components come in, I think is the plan. So sort of like, could we see physicalized components by the end of this year? Probably not now. They're probably going to want the iCache. So probably the earliest is Q2 2021. When's the next episode of Calling All Devs? So they have it all on Fridays. So maybe this Friday, but I'm not sure. Inside Star Citizen starts back up on the 22nd of October. Should we expect the Pyro system to be in game around this time next year, due to the fact that Chris Roberts has said he would wish the server meshing to be in? Yes, that's what I'm expecting. The Q3 2021 patch looks like more likely for Pyro now. Any word on the Santok Yai? No new information on the Santok Yai, that medium Xi'an fighter. Who did you vote for? I voted for Addison. And why? Because I like the idea of AI running amok in the future, and female Elon Musk has some good points with, get your workforce as scientifically educated as possible. Innovation for the win. Do we know what system will be in development after Pyro? So not 100% confirmed, but it's likely to be the Nyx system, and then building towards the Odin system. Odin system's obviously been largely built out for Squadron 42's needs. The Nyx system's connected to Pyro, and then that leads on to the Odin system. We've got some of the Nyx system stuff already with Levski. That's actually, and Delamar, that's supposed to be in the Nyx system. Is it true if you have a computer without AVX, you'll never be able to play Star Citizen again? That looks likely. They've updated Star Citizen launcher to require AVX extensions. So CPUs pre-2011 do not have AVX. That's a good point. Every time I've on my accounts that I've got the mask on, I have searched the body at Benny Henge. That's a good point. So I think it's worth doing that. Well, we'll make a guide for it. I'll drop a guide in it probably tomorrow, just to make sure everyone's happy, and we'll double check some stuff. How do you know if the component in a shop is better than the one on your ship? A lot of components have similar ratings, grades, and size. How do you tell them apart? I would use a tool like Star Citizen Tools or Urkel's system that actually shows all the stats for everything to work out what components I'd want before I went to buy anything. And that's the best way of doing it at the moment. At some point, you'll be able to see and compare stats of each of these items. But typically, A grade and military stuff is better. B grade military stuff is better than C grade civilian stuff. Typically. Will ray tracing be added in the future? If it's sensible for them to do ray tracing, they will add it. They're sensibly looking. They're looking at technologies and will sensibly subsume and use whatever is reasonable for them to do so. That gives them good results. They don't want to just go, yeah, let's put this all in here. They want to be hardware neutral. They want to. They're moving on to Vulkan support fully over the next few months, and then stuff that's supported with that. That's what they're going to do. How many star systems do you think are in development and already finished? So there's probably a few in development. However, it's more the tools and the assets and the biomes that they're building so they can rapidly build out the rest of the systems that are more important. Ones that I actually think are already done, they've probably got Stanton, Odin, maybe another system, because they said that like 90% of the game is going to be in the Odin system for Squadron 42, so maybe another system's done as well. And they probably got Pyro a lot of the way through, but it's more that the assets for all of those are going to be used for all the other systems. So, what are the thoughts on Squadron 42 being launched on next generation consoles to help boost revenue? If they can release Squadron 42 on a console without downscaling it for the console, then I think that's a good idea. They don't want to have a sloppy port. And if they don't have to make concessions with having it on the console, great. Good morning. Do you think when we have these components that maybe an engineer could, for example, have an extra drive in ship storage to replace and swap it out? Yes, 100%. That's one of the things you want to do. That's a lot of the... Look what I'm doing with my hands. That's going to be a lot of the repair gameplay and what engineers are going to be doing. They're going to be replacing components. They're going to be moving stuff out. But obviously that's salvage as well if you take a component and... Could there still be casting surprises for Squadron 42? I believe there still are casting surprises for Squadron 42. So, what I'd say with the 8K stuff, the NVIDIA, is it DLSS? The intelligent upscaling AI stuff is absolutely amazing. Like, maddeningly amazing for 8K, for 4K and 8K. You're like, how can it do this? with so few pixels? How can it make more pixels? And AI is powerful. So I think like in the next 5 years, I think it's going to be good that Cloud Imperium have focused on having high fidelity, because I think that graphics cards will hugely support what they're trying to do at super high res. So, have you checked on Baldur's Gate 3 early access? So I haven't. The reason I haven't is that I've started playing a D&D campaign with one of my mates, and we're doing Descent into Avernus, which is the prelude campaign for Baldur's Gate 3. So once I've done that, which will probably be a few months, then I will look at Baldur's Gate 3. Is Chris Roberts playing a character in Squadron 42? I don't know. I haven't heard that he is, but maybe. I haven't even thought about it. He's got to want to play a character in it, hasn't he? This is a question regarding current gameplay. Did they reduce the damage that ship guns do to turrets? And did they reduce the power of stock shield generators? There's been some rebalancing, and some of the shield holes have been fixed as well. Do you think Sol, so the system with Earth in it, will be a priority system for them to get done? I don't know. Or do you think it will be heavily guarded? I don't think it will be reasonably guarded. Be one of them, like Terra and Earth and Sol will be incredibly well guarded, I suspect, as systems. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I'd love to see what if they had our solar system done really well. That'd be amazing. I mean, it'd be amazing just a tourist to visit. I'm doing all right, Protarx. Thank you very much for asking. I hope you're doing all right as well, sir. Yeah, if I place my head just right, Chris Roberts gives me hair. Perfect, isn't it? Yeah, I appreciate the love. Thank you. Do you know if the ship component... We already talked about that. Yeah, at some point we'll be able to compare components in-game properly. Has there been any information for org in-game features, updates for that? So we can have ship sharing, and any of your org members can grab it from your terminal. That is apparently the plan. But lots more org features coming along, and lots of a permission system allowing certain people to have certain access to certain ships. I would expect to see org hangars and things like that as well, and org bases that you can grab that stuff from, literally have shared ships from. When are we getting that? I don't know. I suspect you'll see updates to more and more group gameplay over the next few coming patches, to get it into a really nice state. And then when we have iCache, they can probably sort out more of a permission system. How do you report an economy exploit? I don't want everyone to know about it to kill the economy. Drop a support ticket in. So contact CIG support. Do it as a support ticket. Read me. Thanks for the voiceover board. Video is in the works. Oh, no worries. Sorry it took so long to get you the voiceover. It was like 2 weeks late or something. I'm a monster. I'm so sorry. I need to be constant. I mean, I get very distracted very easily. I need to be constantly reminded of stuff. You answered this question before, and I'm sorry for asking again. I noticed they've updated the player creation. Any word on when facial hair is coming? I know they've been working on facial hair. We're going to see different hairstyles, and we will see beards and stuff like that in the future as well. They wanted some specific tech for it, so that it didn't look trash, and the lighting worked properly on beards. So they'll be added at some point. I'm hoping the Bounty Merchant goes up in size rather than down. I would expect it to see some changes. What feature are you most looking forward to being fleshed out? Dynamic economy, all of the bits of the game coming together. I mean, for me, I want to be able to have the economy supported by all the different mission types and reasons for combat and base building. I think base building's probably a hugely appealing part of the game to me, but it's everything coming together to make reasons for it to be an MMO and reasons for the missions to exist and motivate all players to do all the different types of gameplay that they want to do. How's the construction of bases and buildings going to be like? So what we heard originally from the pioneer of player-based building was you'd be able to drop outposts, and outposts would have functions. So you'd be able to drop like a little mining outpost like the outposts we've got in game, but they'd have functionality. So drop one for mining, you drop one for farming, you drop one for whatever gameplay purpose you wanted. Bam, plopped on a planet, and then you'd be able to place in some way structures for like power and resources and that sort of stuff. But now it looks like they want a lot more than that. They're going to have proper homesteads. There's going to be lots of ways of building. There's going to be a lot more you can build. And exactly how you do that, is it going to be lots more functions of the Pioneer? Maybe. Is it going to be lots of other ways of being able to drop structures and 3D print things on planets and just bringing the materials there? Potentially. We don't know. There's a lot more going on with base building now, though, and homesteads and lots of other ways of using the Cloud Imperium, Star Citizen real estate stuff. There's a huge amount of space to build in Star Citizen. Ridiculous. An incomprehensible amount. Did you say something earlier this month about a new ship? So I think we'll see some of the new ships that they sort of like have been rumoured for a while at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. I was hoping we were going to see one on the 10th of October. Obviously we didn't. Question poll for the room. More than a direct question, I'm looking at building a new system soon. Is anyone actually getting a decent or playable FPS in large ships and stations? CPU, GPU recommendations. 3080 is my recommendation for a GPU. They apps genuinely seem great as a price point. CPU-wise, I mean, it depends what your needs are. I'd genuinely look at when the new Ryzen 5000 series come out, potentially grabbing a 3900 or a 3950X if you're going the Ryzen route, because I think they're going to be incredibly cheap. If you want something, if you want one of the 5000 series, then maybe look at a 5900X. Yeah, don't get a 2080 Ti. Get the 3080. So in the background, this is the Squadron 42 end of 2018, maybe even 2017 demo. We're just having a bit of a chat about what we saw over the weekend. With the recent info on iCache and Pyro being 2021, what do you think will be in 3.12 now? There's still a reasonable amount coming in 3.12. And there's a lot more than that's currently being shown on the roadmap. So we've got some mystery armor. Could it be Titan armor? Maybe. Unlikely. I think it's more likely to be like some bounty hunter armor and stuff like that. Locations, we've got refinery decks. We're actually going to get some gameplay, I believe, associated with refinery decks. Spacescaping. So spacescaping is going to be additional sort of like clouds, nebula, points of interest looking a lot better, and backgrounds for those areas looking a lot cooler, and some other points of interest sort of in these gas clouds, but you'll see them look at the Grange points with the space stations, with mission objectives, stuff like that. Refineries are going to allow us to have minables sort of refined into different types of potentially more valuable materials, and hopefully we're able to buy refined goods as well and actually move around and sell them, so lots more commodities to sell. Lots of AI stuff happening. I actually suspect that AI will be in a lot better place for 3.12. One of the large reasons for that is because they've got the server-to-client actor networking rework, but a load of back-end systems, a load of support systems for the networking stuff that should, hopefully at this stage, allow for a stable server tick rate. And that actually means a lot of stuff works as intended, which has been a big problem with Star Citizen for ages with its AI. And then hopefully you'll have your FPS AI in a much better state and not just like derp derp derp. We've got the tractor beam multi-tool for moving cargo stuff around. So expect to see lots of updates to cargo now in 3.12 is my in my opinion. And we've obviously got cargo decks. We could probably see the Taurus, the Constellation hard docking with the P-72, P-52, the Hercules Starlifter, the Talon, obviously. What else have we got here? Got the refinery, got weapon zeroing, push and pull, so literally moving stuff around on trolleys or cargo containers and EVA. And again, I'm expecting to see Cargo 2.0 basically here. Elevator panels, death animations, some more laws and systems with those laws. So really we don't have much in the way of big ticket items there, but I would expect to see more missions, more gameplay, some evolutions of a lot of the gameplay that we've got in the game already, and I'm hoping that we do see some larger ticket sort of features. There's a lot that could be. I'm reluctant to say what I think that could be until I see the next Inside Star Citizen, because that will give us a lot more indication of what's going on with that, for sure. Because we don't know their focuses and priorities. There's a lot they're working on currently, but what exactly is another sort of another matter. So I will reserve judgment for a couple of weeks. What else have we got? Anything else? After playing games where the server ruined everything, last Oasis with CIG, will CIG be selling server meshing tech? I think Amazon Lumberyard will probably subsume a lot of the server meshing stuff. Is it more likely that Cloud Imperium will have iCache, server meshing, Pyro, physical inventories, and other major content bundled together for 4.0 as a late 21 release? I think some of that content will be bundled together for a 4.0 release, yes. But I think some of it will come before. I would expect to see iCache before server meshing. Is mining in caves with ships or vehicles anywhere on the horizon? I mean, yeah, it's whenever they build the entrances and the caves large enough to do that. So it depends if it's a priority for them or not at the moment. As well as base building and planets, will we be able to build outpost stations in space? So they haven't confirmed that, no. I'd love to see space station building, though. Chris Roberts said that in the future our ships won't disappear into the ether when we log off. How will that work if player runs capital ships with a real player crew? We're not 100% sure. We're not sure how, if there's going to be safe places to put them, if we need to dock them, if they will just, after a while, disappear into the ether. We don't know yet. Hey, BG, thanks for all your current content. Star Citizen is clearly a favourite. In your opinion and prediction, how will it compare to True Universe, Elite Dangerous, and X4 in a single year span? Well, we're a while away from Star Citizen, Position Universe being a full game to be able to compare to any of those games, really. It's going to be, at the moment, and for a while, it's going to be very pretty. It's going to look a lot better. It's going to be much better as a tourist destination than any of those, but it's not a fully fledged game. In like 3 years' time, maybe, we'll be able to go, well, actually, Star Citizen's got a lot more depth to it. There's a lot more going on with it. It's much more of a simulation and economy game, where you can really sort of role play your character almost, because there's so much to do. So there's a lot more depth to Star Citizen than any of those, and it's a lot prettier, a lot more immersion, a lot more fidelity, a lot more Eve 2.0 walking about everywhere. Underground, underwater base building. Thoughts? They want swimming, they want underwater exploration to some degree. Will we see underwater bases at some point in the future? Maybe, but not something that is planned currently. After 3.12 comes out, will we see a new roadmap for 3.13? Once 3.12 comes out, it depends on where the new roadmaps are. Have we got the new roadmap at that stage? If so, hopefully we'll be able to see 2 quarters to a year. I'm hoping a year in advance, and a lot more of a breakdown of what's going on. So it's whatever the new roadmaps are focused on. Do you think the roadmap will work with the new one? What? Do you think we'll have to stop having weekly updates? No, I think we'll still get weekly update and some context to what's happening on the roadmap, just with additional roadmap information with the new updated roadmaps. They'll show sprints, so they'll show what each individual team is doing for the 2-week sprints and how that breaks down and when tasks are completed. So it's a lot more in-depth, a lot more detail, a lot more of the minutiae. Any more information on the hull C? Not particularly. You'll see probably them talk about it a little bit more with 3.12, because there's a lot of the cargo stuff that they need to get in for the hull C coming in there. Obviously, they need ship-to-station docking in as well. Again, I'm hoping ship-to-station docking, maybe for 3.12 if we're lucky. Although I think just wanting the hard dock for then is probably more reasonable. Expecting. There's a load of updates they're doing to the UIs and the mobiGlas at the moment. I'm not sure of the timeframes on that, though. I heard that you can only see a character at or below 130 meters. Oh, so popping and levels of detail and draw distances and detection ranges, that is going to be worked on massively in the future. So I'm not 100% sure how it's all going to work, but obviously that's incredibly important, especially with server meshing and multiple servers seamlessly sharing data. But obviously at the moment it's they're testing a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff is placeholder when it comes to, well, we say placeholder. It's working with the tech they've got before they finish building it all. Is there any plans to get cargo mechanics on cargo decks? Yes, there is in the future. I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more of it for 3.12. Is there any sign of any anticipated gameplay loops coming out in 2021? Yes, there is. I'm almost certain we will see salvage and repair, as they're sort of like working on some of that. So salvage, tier 0 salvage will just be almost certainly removing physical item out of a ship and putting a new item in. And that's the same as, well, that's repair. Salvage is taking it and putting it in your ship. Obviously, they started to build the cutting tool for 3.12 this year, but they wanted to get the cargo stuff and the gravity tool in first. But I would expect to then see salvage and the cutting tool and stuff like that in. Makes sense as well. But medical gameplay as well is going to be coming online soon, starting to, and they talked about some of that coming online next year. With all the new tech now in Star Citizen, would you like to see a replay of the vertical slice? Oh yeah, of course I would. And the Admiral Bishop speech, and the Morrow tour. I mean, I want to see as much as I can with that stuff. I am going to dash off very, very soon, because I need to eat. I've only eaten breakfast so far today, so I need to eat something. Any ship release predictions for next month? As I said, the rumours are Odin, RSI Odin gunship, gunboat, Xi'an cargo ship, and mobile refinery. But I'd love to see Titan suit of armor. I'd love to see the Sidness. There's a lot of other stuff they could also put in. Variants of some of the ships as well. Like, is 4.0 the next patch after 3.12? No, so they're saving the 4.0 moniker for when they have Pyro in and jump points in with it. So when they have Pyro, basically. So that will probably be Q1, Q2, Q3, 2021. Sort of most likely looking at the moment. More likely Q3, 2021 at the moment. Do you think Cloud Imperium will or should withhold the full Galaxy map for release? Yeah, if it's not been discovered yet. Anything that hasn't been discovered yet, or there's a reason that humans don't know about it, or that it's not publicly available, then yes, you hold that stuff back. ABG, I hope you're keeping well. Which future feature are you most excited by? iCache, server meshing, Quanta, or something else? I mean, Quanta's all of it coming together, but most of the stuff is all of it coming together is the most exciting thing for me. However, base building is probably the individual feature I'm most excited for. Even without CitizenCon 2020, are they still going to do some sort of big keynote? It doesn't look like that. They've done all the addressing and the stuff up last weekend. So the weekend just gone. That's the not CitizenCon event, and that's when it went through. So we've got a huge amount of information from that, admittedly. Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November, we should see a lot more stuff as well, but it's more in-game eventy and cool ships and things like that. And I would expect to see some stuff by the end of the year. Like, they'd like to show off some bits for sure at the end of each year. But yeah, we don't have that cool big keynote and those cool gameplay demos that we get at CitizenCon, and all those other bits that CitizenCon really is pretty cool for, which is a shame we don't have it this year. I appreciate all the love. Thank you, thank you. When do you think 3.11.x will be out? I would expect to see a 3.11.1 build by the end of October. Or thereabouts. I would hope to see... I'd hope to see Tier 0 salvage by Q2 2021. As I said, and I said what Tier 0 salvage and repair would be, which is the very basic moving components between areas. So that with iCache looks likely to me. Again, not a confirmation, just an expectation. Right. I would wait till November before buying or upgrading a ship, yeah. And for new players looking to jump into Star Citizen, I mean, if you really want to get in now, great. 3.11 looks pretty stable to me. But the end of November, there's the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and typically that's a 2-week free fly period as well, where you can try the game for free, and it should be pretty good. Right. I am going to dash. Thank you very much for joining me today. Very much appreciated. I think that soon we'll be streaming a lot longer on Mondays and Fridays, probably. Yeah, I'll update the nation stuff with people's beautiful Australian and American monies. Thank you very much. That very much appreciated. You guys are cray and beautiful. Mark, Andy Heaton, DJ Brown, Monsters, Robert Johnston, AFK, Grumpy Town, Red Fox. Red Fox, the best. Just subbed and then gave me money. Beetroot, love you. Love you all. You're all the best. We're going to find someone to host, though, on the Twitches. We'll chuck you at Morph. Morph streaming, which is great. Swoop. Slash raid. Give Morph some love. Because he is a very pretty content creator. Let's give you some of that. some of that. I don't know what's for breakfast yet. It'll be something relatively healthy, like I'll have some lightly smoked salmon and some like toasted almonds with it or something. But yeah, thank you so much for today. Very much appreciated for joining me. We'll be talking. I might do a really quick, super quick rundown of what we got over the weekend in the Not CitizenCon event. Maybe we'll get some guides out this week for where Benny Henges, easy ways of getting 50 kills. Is it a good thing what they've done? All that sort of jazz. So, thanks very much for watching. Very much appreciated. You guys take care. If you've got some lore stuff that you want Zin to narrate for Star Citizen, ones to focus on first, you can send me emails at contact@boredgamer.co.uk or get me on my Discord, discord.gg/boredgameruk. Super Mac Brothers, I'm literally raiding Morphologists now. It's very much appreciated for your raid, but in about 3 seconds, it's going to move over. So, the worst timing ever. But, you know, it's a raid inside a raid. But I appreciate the love. Thank you very much. You guys take care.